Hey agents, it's Manny. In this Iron Horse video, I'm going to show you how to play the Demo DPS role to take out the shield ads during the boss encounter. I'll cover the build and the fight. Before we start, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and ding that notification bell so you know when there's new videos. And if you're looking for someone to game with, you can find me and other players in the Militia Discord server. The link is in the description below. Alright, now for the build. So the only thing that really matters for weapons, I have an AR here. This doesn't matter, neither does your pistol. It's going to be the Harmony, simply for perfect instinct. Hitting an enemy grants you 20% skill damage for 5 seconds. That's important. We want as much skill damage as possible. Also, using a skill or damaging an enemy with a skill grants 20% weapon damage for 5 seconds. You do both of those and it increases it, so you'll actually get 40% skill damage with this weapon. Now going on to our pieces. So what we ultimately want, and it almost doesn't matter which pieces you get with the exception of one, is you want 1 China Light, 1 Weaponware, 2 Grupo, and 2 Hana Yu. All right. So this is how I have mine. This is the pieces I've got. So this is what I went with. So you can almost get any piece anywhere, just as long, with the exception of, we'll look at the backpack first. If you're able to get the force multiplier, this one's a little better because it's got perfectly combined arms, which is shooting an enemy increases skill damage for by 30%. Which gives you, with your weapon, it gives you actually, what's that, 70% extra skill damage when you shooting an enemy. So the reason we got 2-piece Hana Yu is skill damage and skill haste. So this one's rolled with skill damage and stat effects. Stat effects is probably the second best talent you want. Skill damage is the first talent you want, and obviously with a core attribute. So once the optimization station comes out, I'll be able to actually optimize this to be max at 10%. Now, so let's go look at the mask. So China Light has explosive damage, which is great. That's what we want because we're going to be using the turret. Skill tier, obviously, this has skill haste and skill damage. I put a skill haste mod in here. Obviously, status effects will be better with the shock trap we're going to be using. Now, the chest is the Wyvern, and it has status effects skill damage, skill haste mod. We have it with glass cannon, which is nice. So I rerolled skill damage. This one came with glass cannon, which is great. Glass cannon is great because it amplifies all damage. Now it does amplify damage you take, but hopefully you don't have to worry about it too much because you're just going to be doing the 25% extra damage to them. This one has status effects, which is great. I can reroll this, optimize this one as well. Then we go to our gloves, which is our second piece, Hana. And this one actually has skill haste and skill damage. I reroll skill damage, so I'm stuck with the skill haste. Status effects would be better. Once again, skill haste, skill damage. Then we go down to Grupo Sombra, and these are the toughest pieces to get, simply because they come with a red attribute as a core attribute, and you have an 80% chance, given the changes to Title Update 11, you have 80% chance of having a red attribute on the first slot. So I got lucky and got a skill damage here, but unfortunately the next one rolled explosive damage. Once again, status effects, and then skill haste would be better, but skill haste is irrelevant, just how this build is played out. Nothing really takes that long that you want to actually get your skills back online. So everything should be dead before you have to worry about any kind of skill haste. We have, the reason we have 2 pieces is crit hit damage doesn't matter, but explosive damage is important, 15%. So then we look at the other piece I have, the knees, and once again, 15, 15. I re-rolled the first attribute, and you can see here, this one actually rolled crit hit damage, which is irrelevant. And the last one came with skill damage maxed out, and that's what you want. So try to keep getting until you get a 10% skill damage on one of the 2 slots, and then that's a good enough piece, what you want. Now, the good news is all these pieces can basically be crafted at the crafting bench with the exception of the force multiplier, but you can craft a regular Hanyu and get combined arms on it. Now, for specialization, we're going with Demo for the artillery turret. This is the important piece. This is mainly what we're running, Demo DPS. So you can see the stats here. Cooldown doesn't matter. Duration doesn't matter. Health doesn't matter. Damage is what matters. We got 3.8 mil. Ammo is 10. That's important too because you won't want to run out. Blast radius, bleed damage is important as well. That's actually an excellent weapon. So we have damage and bleed damage are the important parts, and everything else doesn't matter. Cooldown, you shouldn't go through 10 rounds before the fight is over. The second skill we're using is the shock trap. The reason we're using this though is to actually prevent Lieutenant Gray from healing. So when the guys come out, if he gets shocked, he won't have any healing effects. So that's what we're looking for. And that's the build, guys. All right, guys, this is the first time I actually ran this build during this fight. Typically, I'm regular DPS, so I messed up a couple times, but let me talk you through what I did right and what I need to do better. First, put down your artillery turret right in the front. I didn't actually have my shock trap in there, so I selected that. Now, positionally, it'd be better if I was undercover, but what I'm trying to do is stand on the catwalk so I can avoid their mortar rounds. Instead of having the shock trap out, I should actually have harmony out, because I should be shooting the enemies right now to get in sync and combined arms firing up for the extra 70% damage. Once the grade drops down and he's no longer invulnerable, that's when you actually launch your mortar shells. Once the first 2 volleys go off the mortar shells, throw out your shock trap so that grade can get stunned and shocked. And then now I'm shooting harmony and I'm actually firing my mortar shells off. And that's it. That's all you got to do for this fight. Once the actual shield guys are down, you don't really have to do anything else. The only issue you could possibly have is if your DPS can't take Gray out quick enough before the next set of shield guys comes out, and then you just launch a couple more mortars. And as a side tip, once you kill Gray, just wipe the whole raid, because what ends up happening is it clears out all the ads that are there. You will get your loot and you'll be able to get your key, but you don't have to deal with any of the extra ads that are floating around. There you have it, the Demo DPS role, which is super simple for Boss 1 and Iron Horse. The hardest part of this role is getting those 2 Group O pieces. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button below and leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. If you'd like to see more content like this, then please smash that subscribe button, and you can also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Maniacrity, where I stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'd be happy to answer any questions live on stream. Till next time, agents, happy hunting.